KUGAN CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global.
After the press, okay, I'll be here. Good.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm always good.
I'm
always good.
Joined by
What's going
Paulie
on, man?
Malignaggi. What's happening, mate?
Nothing, chilling out here for White and Chisora, and I'm excited about being here. I'm always excited about being in England Cruise. You know how that goes. You know how it goes.
You're here more often than you're not.
It's getting to that point. It's getting, the balance is shifting. You know, it's like 50-50 with me in Europe and North America now, you know? It's starting to shift it over. I'm starting to make a smooth transition over to Europe, you know?
How do you see this fight going? Saturday night, Chisora White, the rematch.
You know, the first one was just a cracker, you know? I think the rematch has that potential as well. You know, it's a possibility that Chisora, it may be a bit long in the tooth, but then you think about the fact that he's got new motivation. Coming off the Takam win, I think, the Takam win, I really think that gives him a lot of self-belief and self-motivation going into a rematch with White. I think the rematch with White was always going to be there because the first fight was so great. But now I think the timing was good because, you know, White's just been winning since the initial fight. You know, he's only got one loss to AJ, so he's actually a top world contender. Chisora's kind of up and down, but I think coming off this win, it's great timing for the fight because it gives Chisora an opportunity at 34 years old to be a headliner one last time, if not more. It gives him a chance to see, you know what, I don't want to let go of this. This is a big headline event. I want to give it my all to remain at this level. And of course, White is fighting to continue his the notoriety among the heavyweight elite, you know. So I think it's coming at a point where both guys can really find a lot of motivation, as if they already needed any more motivation. They dislike each other like crazy. So I think that in and of itself can make for a really good fight.
Have both fighters got a little eye on Anthony Joshua already, or not?
I think any heavyweights who are fighting in a fight of this magnitude will always have a bit of an eye towards the heavyweight championships. I mean, so I can't say no, you know what I'm saying? But I think they're also in the moment and here to enjoy being a part of a big box office clash in the UK, and which has world level implications.
Who is the number one heavyweight in your opinion?
You know, you have these top three guys with Fury, Wilder, and Joshua, and I think you can mix and match them. But I think Fury's performance against Wilder, and I think combined with the dominant performance he had over Klitschko when Klitschko was on a major run, I think it puts him just a little bit ahead of the other two. But it's still a situation where they're not that far off. I mean, Wilder did have Fury down twice. I felt Fury won the fight, as people know, but Wilder did have him down twice, so, you know, there is room there for flaws and errors where things could quickly change, you know? But I do think those three are a bit ahead of everybody else, you know? But I don't think they're as much ahead of everybody else as, say, Klitschko was in his prime, where Klitschko, I think, was probably better than all three in his prime than any of these guys are in their prime. But I think the fact that they're flawed makes them more lovable, gives us a chance to see more of their character because they go down, they get up, they get hurt, they come back and win. You know, it's the kind of fights where, you know, people get really intrigued even on an emotional level, you know. And so I think they're more fun for the fans to watch than the Klitschko era, which was so dominant that people probably couldn't understand it. So I think they're a bit beneath Klitschko in his prime, but at the same time they're still above everybody else in the heavyweight division, but not by that much. Like on any given night, as we have seen. You know, we saw AJ get rocked by Dillian White. We saw AJ go down against Vladimir Klitschko. We saw Wilder get rocked against Luis Ortiz. You know, and then of course the head-to-head matchup with Fury and Wilder. We saw Wilder drop Fury twice, but we also saw Fury probably, you know, win enough rounds to win the fight. You know, so I think, you know, there's a lot of. You can take a lot out of that in terms of opinions, and you can get it, you know, be involved on a more emotional level when you watch these guys fight, as opposed to the Klitschko era where it was like, man, this guy's so good, he's boring. Not that I felt he was boring, but people who don't understand boxing, who don't understand it to that level, want to watch, you know, more exciting fights, and so they couldn't understand the dominance Klitschko had. So I think it makes it more fun for the fans in general, you know. But it's hard to say for sure that who's the top guy. I think Fury's the top guy right now, but I think there's room for Joshua and Wilder to be there at any given point, you know.
The biggest fight that we could see in this country is Joshua to fight Tyson Fury in this country.
Yeah.
Who would you edge in that fight?
I think right now I edge Fury.
Yeah.
I edge Fury in that fight. and that's no disrespect to guys like Joshua, or even guys like Wilder for that matter. And I had heard that Wilder was unhappy with some of the comments I made. And I'm open to any debate about how I achieved my scorecard and how.
What specific comments from you was Wilder unhappy about?
I don't know. I think the fact that I thought it was a robbery. But like I said, I'm not gonna put it out there like that. But I think I think I welcome the debate with Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Because it's never on a personal level. I mean, I don't have any rooting interest in any fighter. And I think on any given level, I don't have any rooting interest even in who the promoter's fighter is of the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching a fight and I defend who I think won the fight. And I think when I think it's that obvious, I get a little bit more emotional about it. But of course, even on Showtime, I was angry when Mauricio Herrera didn't get the decision against Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is a guy I consider, a guy I'm very cool with, a guy who I was also the Heyman fighter at the time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care. I thought Herrera won, and I put it out there. You know what I'm saying? I think Golovkin and Canelo, I didn't work the fight, but I felt like Golovkin won the fights, both fights, and I put it out there. And of course, same thing with Wilder and Fury. I think to that extent, Wilder's the Heyman guy, and he's the Showtime guy. And if he had been robbed, I would have went to bat for him. If I felt he'd been robbed. But I didn't feel that. So I felt like I just kind of go with what I think the sport decides on who wins the fights. And unfortunately, many times in boxing, messed up judges or commissions or whatever get involved and change the results for us or give us the results that probably aren't justified. Even in the Canelo situation, I got Golden Boy blocking my credential on any Canelo fights. You know what I'm saying? I've been blocked 2 times by British networks, the British networks that wanted me to work with the Canelo fights, and I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I don't care. I stand my ground as far as my beliefs, and like I said, I welcome any debate because I'm not one of these half-assed reporters who sit in press row and don't understand what they're watching. There's media reporters who've been watching this shit for years who don't know what they're watching. I can actually specifically, in detail, tell you how we got there, and I dare you to debate me on how you got there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not any of these other people. I'm not Dan Rayfield, who scored the fight 114-112 for Wilder and can't even tell you how he got there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I can specifically detail every single round for you if that's what we need to do, so that you know that I'm not against you personally, but and just any of the other fighters as well. And me and Danny were always cool even after that I announced Herrera and Garcia. It is what it is. I defend the sport because I believe nobody's bigger than the sport. Nobody should be bigger than the sport.
So you welcome a debate with Wilder at any time?
Debate with anybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? About any time. Like I said, and once you get the debate, I think you'll understand that it's from a tactical perspective that I reached this conclusion. I mean, don't get me wrong. Most people reach the conclusion I got to. It ain't like it's rocket science. But some people probably have a bit of a rooting interest for Wilder, and they don't have the same mindset. But again, I can just tell you how I got there myself. Some people can't tell you how they got there regardless of who they have winning. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you how I got there specifically in detail. You know what I'm saying? And then challenge you to challenge that.
Okay, I think the press conference is going to begin shortly. So, Paulie, I appreciate your time, and we look forward to a great weekend of boxing.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right,
even in New York, we have the Charlo brothers fighting. We have in London, we have White versus Chisora. Who knew? It was so close to the end of the year.
Frampton Warrington in Manchester.
In Manchester too. You know what? Boxing has less and less of breaks. Remember, like by early December, it was over until like midway through the first month of the new year. Now we're going all the way through. Cougs. Boxing's
There's
hot
going to be a
right
Christmas
now.
Day boxing show coming up,
No, I wouldn't go that far. But I have fought January 5th.
Boxing on Boxing Day. I mean that.
I don't know. We don't have Boxing Day in America. We don't have it in Canada, in North America. So you guys, boxing on Boxing Day, invite me over and I'll call for Boxing Day. But 1 year I did fight January 5th, my first IBF title defense. Miserable. When you miss Christmas and New Year's, miserable. I had to miss my birthday that year too. My birthday's in late November. You imagine that? Who wants to go? So you don't want to do a Christmas Day show. You don't want to go that far. But right here, this close, this is cool. I like it.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much, mate.